Three, two,
Oh,
one,
the
go.
stream is on.
Hello. I guess now we
Hi,
can talk.
it's good to
So
see
do you want
you.
to introduce yourself? It is good to see you. Yes.
So, hi, I'm Katie Bond. Um, you can call me Karen or Katie, it's up to you. Sorry about that light above my head. Let's see if I can fix it. Um, I write contemporary second chance romances. My theme, which I've currently decided is a great theme, is timeless passion, ageless love, because it's usually seasoned, meaning older adults, not 20 somethings. That's what I write. And I also write interracial romances because I think that's an important uh, theme that I need to do these days in particular.
So show your books. What do we got?
Okay, so from Four Horsemen, this is book two. I don't I don't know where book one is. This is book two in my Serendipity series. It's Back to Love. The characters in this book are a bodyguard, kind of sorta, um, and the secretary to uh, a charity boss, and uh, they met before. In fact, these characters met in the first book, um, and so this is their story in which she just thinks that it's going to be, a fling, and then it turns out to be so much more than a fling. Um, but in the meantime, of course, he has to hide stuff from her. You know how it is. And then when she finds out, she gets mad, and there's that black moment, and then he's hit by her murderous ex, and yeah, there's a lot going on. It's an interesting story. It's a romance with suspense elements, is what this one is. Um, and then this is the one I just published, June 15th. It's called The Pilot's Wife. It's the first in a series called Single Moms of New York City. This is the story of a widow. Her husband was a naval aviator. He died in action. And it's about her husband's commander, who the first time he met her was at their wedding. And it was love at first sight for him, so he ran away. Because, this is what you do. And they meet serendipitously because she is a substitute airline hostess. I know that's not the word for it, but I can't remember the right word anymore. Flight attendant. There you go. That's politically correct.
Mhm.
And she is working the private jet that he's flying on. So they meet again, and he's finally able to pursue her in a way that is legal. But of course, she's got a 4-year old, and she also had some, attraction to him. And so she was very glad she never saw him again until now. And so that's what this story is about. And the second one will be called The Doctor's Wife, because the doctor who treats her when she falls down the steps coming off the plane is his friend, and his story is next. So that's The Pilot's Wife. Oh, and this started as a Kindle Vella story, by the way. Yeah.
Cool. Love
So
it.
tell me
I love
about you.
yours are so sweet and wonderful. I write under J.M. Paquette, and I write cheesy, usually vampire love triangle romances with happy endings. So I do
Vampires, I love them.
vampires, werewolves, witches, demons, shapeshifters is my last one. But I can't not write a love triangle. I write a story and I'm like, it's just gonna be the two, and then someone else shows up and I'm like, oh, apparently love triangle it is. But my last series that book two is coming soon. I turned it in and it should be up for pre-order soon. But it's the Heart of Stone series. So this is a rock star fae shifter
Ooh, nice.
where it focuses on Margot as the stage manager for a rock band called Stone Dragons, and she's known them for years. She's in her mid 20s, and she's had a crush on the lead singer, of course. But he is the ungettable, gets distant, whatever. And then one night she meets a stranger at one of the after parties and finds out that she is Faye. And the reason why Ash, the singer, has been so distant is because he is also Fae and in hiding. But now that she's been revealed, he can actually pursue her. But she also just met another sexy Fae who maybe understands her a little bit more and didn't make her wait for 8 years. So
Difficult, difficult, difficult decisions.
drama ensues. And then I have two other completed series. One is the Klauden's Ring series. It's an epic D&D based. Basically, the vampire princess runs away from home, meets sexy elf, and then the guy she was supposed to marry shows back up again. So that is a complete 4 book series with body swapping and magic and love triangles, of course, werewolves, witches, demons. And then I have an urban fantasy, Conjuring Fascination. The first book is called Invite Me In, which is basically demon rescues girl when she's young. She grows up, she meets a sexy vampire, and then the demon comes back. So, and that's a 2 book series, complete happy ending. So I'm all about happy endings. It all works out. I don't kill people in my books. That guys.
I hear that. I hear that. So, did you get the same questions that I did?
I think so. So the first one is, how much prep do you put in before you start writing a book?
I spent a lot of time thinking about that today. Um, so, on my phone, I have a list of names, careers. By names, I mean first names for men, first name for women, last names, place names, careers, dogs' names, cats' names. I just have a list. um, and one of the first things that I do when I am writing is I choose their names. Um, I can't I can't think about the character without thinking about their names.
That's
So
so okay.
yeah, I it's just hard for me. I have to choose their names, and then the names have to be musical. They have to sound right together.
Hmm.
Like in the book I wrote before The Pilot's Wife, the one for my Christmas series, his name is McAllister Battle.
Just rolls. That's
His name is
wonderful.
McAllister, and her name is Chantilly Henderson, and everybody calls her Tilly.
Like, all right.
um, so the names have to flow. So the names come first, and then the next thing that I find I need to write, even before I do the plotting and the plant sing, is I have to write a blurb. I
Okay.
can't function because the blurb is sort of like my précis,
Hmm.
from which I then go and look at what will happen first, what will happen next, what will happen last. So yeah, that's my prep, and then after that, of course, I try to write character descriptions of each of them and about the place where they're going to be, where most of the story will happen. I write a book bible. It's a very weird book bible, and I think my book bible follows the beats, although I have to tell you I'm scared of beats because that's not how my brain doesn't work like that.
Hmm.
I just know these are the things that I want to happen. And I don't know whether they fit into beats or not. They probably do. It's just that's not how my brain works. So when you ask me for beats, it makes me nervous because I don't know what
Did I do my
dark
homework?
moment. I third disaster. What? I can't do
Mhm.
that. But that's my process. And then, of course, as you go along, um, you're writing something. And so, for example, in The Pilot's Wife, Spence, who is the her husband's he was her husband's commander. He was also a naval aviator, and I needed to know what would be his rank
Mhm.
by the time he left. And I also needed to know whether or not he could get a master's degree in business administration um, um, while he was in the Navy, or how long it would take after he got out. And so, because that was important for knowing how old he is.
Mhm.
And of course, that took me down all kinds of Navy rabbit holes. And then when her husband died, and I had to figure out how could someone in time that's peacetime be killed in action, if he's a naval aviator, if he's a pilot. Um,
Mhm.
and that was another rabbit hole. And when I read when he died, because I described how he died in the story, um, uh, it was hard for me that rap because the way he was killed is a way that pilots can be killed trying to land on a warship, and he was trying to land in a storm.
Okay.
And he had volunteered for the mission. It wasn't his mission, but he was the only one. He was the one who knew how to fly in bad weather. He had come back from many bad weather things and landed perfectly, and this time he didn't.
This was that
So
one.
yeah, so lots of research. Some of it doesn't happen until you're in the moment of the telling, and then you're like, I don't want someone who was in the Navy to go, that can't happen. So that's what I do. Yeah.
Yeah, I love that you start with names and then figure out from there because I'm terrible with names. So I was a teacher for so many years, so I have all these names like tons of rosters, and honestly, sometimes I just steal from there because every other time, if I have to come up with a name on the fly, it always starts with a J, and I don't know why. Like my name is Jen, but all of my characters are like Josh, Jack, Jason, Jeremiah. Like I can't. If you ask me for a name, it's gonna be a J, and I don't know why. So I'll write a whole story and then be like, how many J's are in? And you
Let's see what
change
we
all of
can.
the side characters who
That
don't
is
match.
cute.
But yeah, names are usually the last thing. I always start with dialogue. I start with two people in a room, and I have no idea where it's going or why. Like I love that you plan out, so like you're a planter, right? A split between. I anytime I try to plan out, like I know the story is going to go from here to here to here. My characters get to like chapter 3, and they're like, "No, that's not at all what's happening. We're going to go have a sandwich." And I'm like, "Oh, okay. This is a book about what?" In fact, writing A Heart of Stone, the last one, and now I'm in the middle. I'm writing book 3 in the series. I was about halfway through book 1 when I was like, I don't think this character is very nice. And it took me a minute. I'm like, oh my god, I'm writing a bad guy story. I did not realize. But some of the things that were happening, I was like, oh, okay, that's what's really happening here. So my characters boss me around completely. Um, so as far as prep, none. And then I'll figure out names and then control F and I'll fix all the names later once they're not J's anymore. Um, but as far as like you were saying with the, how long would it take to get a degree in this situation? Did you get crazy like your internet recommendations changed after that? They were like, "Do you want to go to school and get a degree?" So you had to like search with incognito mode because otherwise
What?
you like for my other series, I they went on a boat, and I was like, all right, I need a boat with X number of crewmen, that will be able to give them private rooms. What kind of a boat would that be? And I was on this like deep dive of like 16th 17th century sailing vessels, and I'm reading about crew, and then it's like, are you interested in military history? And I was like,
Yeah,
so
no. Just
yeah,
for
it's
the story.
easy
Thank
to
you.
go down a little bit of the rabbit hole. And I'm like, what am I doing? I don't need to know how to sail this thing. I just need to know how many crew members are going to be on deck and what would
Hmm.
they do if someone fell off a boat. That's all I need to know.
Hmm.
So figuring out like where the line is and not getting lost is a challenge for me because I
It's a
tend to be
challenge
like,
for. I think we all get lost in the. We go down rabbit holes, and some of the rabbit holes are so fascinating.
it,
Can I just keep reading and not bother to write? I'll write later. This is interesting.
I was talking to a friend of mine I was like, I relate to this so hard. So her husband has a hard time sleeping, and he found a show on YouTube that's called Boring History to Sleep To. And he put it on, and she was like, I stay awake and I listen. There was a whole episode about what wearing your hair a certain way signified in different cultures throughout the year. She was like, it was fascinating, but he was sound asleep.
It knocked him out.
Yeah. So, yeah.
Yep.
But
Research
prep. Oh,
wakes your brain up.
Yeah. Uh, the other thing, story beats. What I'll do, I write the whole thing and then I go back and I reread it, and that's when I look at did I hit like I'll what genre am I in? What are the popular things that are happening right now? What are fans or readers going to be expecting from this kind of story? And then I'll go through and make sure that I hit them. And if I'm missing one, that's when I'll go through and add it in. Like, oh, I'm missing, whatever the second, trial or whatever. They all have different names depending on where you go.
I'm currently reading. My writing partners and I are currently reading this book.
Okay. How I've heard good things. I haven't read it.
It is. a hoot, but it is so good.
Good.
And the thing that fascinates me is that this guy's a physicist.
But he breaks it down like
He is brilliant. He's just brilliant. So my girlfriends and I are doing this like a book club, and we go through chapters and talk about it, and we make plans. And now we're trying to follow his snowflake method to see if we can plan a book. It's fabulous. I really like it.
maybe
But,
that'll work
so
out.
that makes it easy for me. So he doesn't call it beats, but I mean, it is beats. It's just it doesn't intimidate me. I think the whole idea of a beat sheet is what I find intimidating. That I have to follow these. When I used to ghostwrite, I one particular client wanted me to follow. I think they were beats. It's not what it was called, but she had first whatever the language is for the opening, and then the introduction and the first thing. And I was like, "What the? I don't write like that. What are you asking me to do?" I couldn't do it. I couldn't do it. I had to tell her, "Sorry, I can't take your job," because
I think
I don't
if
know.
you get clinical about it, it kind of sucks the joy out. But what I find is like I write the stories that I want to read. So the books that
Yes.
I read have the things in them that I enjoy that other people are writing about that they would expect from a generic, you have a love triangle, it's going to be, partner one is going to be an option. They're going to look really good. And then partner two is going to come back. And then partner one's going to screw up at one point and make partner two kind of rise. And so you have this sort of expectation of how the
Yeah.
relationship is supposed to grow. And I
Yeah.
just make sure that I have, the expected ones. At what point are they going to kiss? At what point are they going to get closer? So,
But what? So in your triangles, what happens to the one who's rejected?
well, one of mine is a why choose.
Oh, okay.
So that surprised me. I was like, "What is happening right now? Are you really? Is this?" And the main character had a moment and was like, "No, I'm not giving up either one." And they were like, "Cool, we're doing this." So that's how that
Oh,
one.
okay.
And it was very interesting writing. But the other one, I gave the other partner a happy ending. I gave an epilogue where you find out that he actually has met someone else, and then he's going to get his own book at some point when I
Oh,
get.
that's cool. I like that because yeah, if they're characters that I like, I want them to have their own happy ending.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah, I ended up. It was originally the idea that I had was that she was going to end up with a vampire because I write vampire romance, but she was going to stay human. She wasn't going to become a vampire because I didn't want that dynamic. I was like, I want this human dynamic. And about halfway through, she was like, no, actually, I'm going to go to option two. And then I had this like throwaway line where at one point he was like, she says, what are you going to do? Like, come to my 90th birthday? Like, how is this going to work moving forward in the future if I'm with a vampire? And then the epilogue is her 90th birthday. Um, where she has like this big family and everything else, and then he comes to see her, and you find out that in the interceding 60, 70 years, what he's been up to. So it was just a fun way of like glimpse at we have to find out, we can't just leave him all lonely and heartbroken.
Yeah. He has to have his moment.
Yeah.
I like that.
So
So tell me, what's a hidden or unusual talent you have?
don't even know.
Me
I
neither.
have weird allergies. I don't know that those are talents though. um you know what? Okay, I'm going to spin this into a talent somehow. So I am a crazy person because I am allergic to alcohol, liquor, booze. So I can't drink or my throat swells up, and I have an EpiPen for alcohol. Even if it's cooked, I can't. It's an enzyme in alcohol that I'm allergic to, and it's in
Oh
wine.
my
It's
god.
I can't say like, oh well, I can drink whiskey, but I can't drink bourbon. Yeah. Like tiramisu, if it's made with real liquor, even though it's cooked, whatever's in it still makes me like,
So you
so,
couldn't have my Jamaican rum cake because it has wine and overproof rum in it.
yeah. And like if I go to like the melting pot, they put beer or white wine in their cheese, so I have to get the
You
vegan
know I'm
stuff.
gonna put you in a story, right? You hush 1 second.
I can, so I
Because
have an EpiPen for liquor exposure, and then on top of that, I'm allergic to UV light like a vampire. So I literally sunburned within 5 minutes. And it happened very suddenly one day. I was outside and I was like, oh my God, what did I touch? I'm having an allergic reaction. This is crazy. And then by the end of the weekend, like you could see the lines in my shirts were like still white, like my skin, and everything else was bright red. And I went to the ER. I was like, what is happening to me? And they gave me steroids and we're like, yeah, you're allergic to UV light. It happens. It might go away someday. It hasn't yet. So my talent is not drinking and staying inside, and I've lived in Florida for many, many years.
Oh,
So
wow. So you can't go to the beach or go in the water?
no, maybe I'm on a lot of medication, and I get maybe 15 minutes before I
Oh,
start to like
no. Not
totally.
even in a pool. Oh.
Yeah, I can go in a pool at night. So
Oh, at
when the
night.
sun goes
Okay,
down,
okay, okay.
sunset's a bad time. There's something weird about the light at sunset that my skin is like absolutely not. But once the sun is down and it is full dark, I'm like, let's go swimming.
Oh, oh my, you are definitely getting a story. And I promise you, when I write it, I will let you know.
So
Um,
my talent is staying inside like a
oh
hermit.
my goodness. That is, I knew about actually, I know about both of those because my husband was allergic to alcohol, to anything with, he would just have really bad stomach aches, like people who had ulcers.
Hmm.
I discovered that when I made pudding, and you steam the pudding so the alcohol stays in it. It doesn't get baked out like in a cake.
Yeah,
And he had a piece, and 10 minutes later, he was curled over himself, groaning. So, yeah, I knew about that. And my youngest daughter will be out in the sun, and we go back inside, and within an hour, she's all pebbled up with heat rash.
yeah.
So
I
she,
like even getting my nails done. If I put my hands in the UV, like if they're like we want to get you out of here, I get a bright red line like down my like to here, you know. So I'm like I can't. I need the fan, or I'll just sit here and do this.
so you
Don't
can't have gel nail polish then, because that takes forever to dry.
Yeah. So I don't
Oh
do
my
gel. I just
good
do
Lord.
So anything with UV, and it get like my UV is pretty controlled. The liquor gets worse. So if I eat something and I don't know that it has it, every time I do it, the reaction is stronger. So like,
Oh, so you have to go. Is it cooked anywhere near
yeah.
alcohol?
Did you put any? Is there alcohol in the? I ordered a beef shepherd's pie, and I took a bite and I was like, this has something. Like my tongue immediately was like, and I had to spit it. I was like, I can't. Really? Shepherd's pie? You're gonna put wine in the sauce? I didn't even think about it. But anyway, oh, I think you froze. Or was it me? No. Waiting for Katie to come back. Maybe. Well, I am gonna write a story about a character who's allergic to the sun one day. In a different series. And her father was an assassin who got murdered because he had the same allergy, and he always kept like extra gas in his car just in case we didn't get stuck out in the desert, and they replaced all of his gas cans, and that's how he dies in the desert because he knows he can't walk; it's too far. So he just dies in the sunlight. Okay, we're gonna hang out here, and I'm just gonna talk with you while we wait for Katie to come back. Let's see. Mm. I'm currently working on book 3 in my series, where my stage manager Margot has to decide how to move forward between her two love triangles. Um, Option 1 did some terrible things in book 2, so I don't know if he can be redeemed. We will have to see. I want him to because obviously he's pretty awesome in a lot of ways. He just doesn't realize when he's being a jerk. All right. So if Katie doesn't come back in a few minutes, we will call it. All right. Um, let's see. Four Horsemen's doing all sorts of cool stuff. We have other series like this one where authors are talking, but we talk about what authors should know is one of our series. Um, the Authors Accountability Discord server, we have a community over there where we do webinars on different topics. Uh, we just did one on self promotion. We've done one on like character development. So if you're interested in more authory things, that would be a good thing. Go over to YouTube and follow Four Horsemen Publications because that's where a lot of them are posted. So that's always fun. What else? We just did Indie PopCon a little while ago, and we did some panels. That was awesome. We got to talk about all sorts of fun things. Apparently, I can't sit on a panel and not bring up Tolkien. It's just impossible for me. She came back for a minute, but popped away before I could add her. No. All right. What else is Four Horsemen been doing? Katie's back.
I'm sorry. You know what? Just so remember, I told you. I apologize for that. Remember, I told you we went to Virginia to help my daughter move apartments. We came back on Thursday night to no electricity. Didn't have electricity until Saturday night, and we didn't get the internet back until Sunday night.
Oh,
And it was because of thunderstorms. Well,
uh-huh.
so guess what just happened? I'm
Gotcha.
talking to you, and it went, and the lights went out for a minute, and then came back, and I was like, "You did not just do that to me." It did.
Well, tell us about your unusual talents.
My unusual talent: I can write backwards.
Like
Um,
handwriting?
like,
Like Leonardo da Vinci? Like with the oh my god.
Okay. I wish I could show you. Let me. Like, I can write. I can write backwards. I don't know how else to say it. I can write backwards. And even though I don't think I'm ambidextrous, because for me, ambidextrous means you're equally good with both hands. Um,
Mhm.
the way my dexterity, my ambidexterity, there you go, that's the word. The way that works is I eat with my left hand, but I wash dishes with my right hand. I brush my teeth with my right hand. I write with my right hand, but I carry all my burdens and loads and bags and things on my left side. It's that kind of, I don't know if that's a talent, but that's just me. But yeah, I can write backwards. I can also write upside down. It's slow, but I can do it.
It's fun.
It's a This is something I'm going to do because I'm bored or stressed, or let's just see if I can read it. And usually I can read it when it's done. Mind you, it looks like when I write with my left hand. It's the same kind of
My normal handwriting is atrocious. I can't imagine if I tried to do something else.
it would be fun to teach myself to write properly with my left hand. I think the reason that I have that issue though is that when I was a little girl, I grew up in Jamaica. I was born in Jamaica, and I started school there. And back then, being left-handed was not a thing that was, tolerated. And so, if I was working with my left hand, I got smacked out of it a lot. So I was made to use my right hand, which is interesting because this. I have something. I Can you see this? Okay, so this is my left
So
hand.
okay.
This is my right hand. I can't do this with my right
Oh,
hand. It's
okay.
called radioulnar synostosis. I was born with it, and what
Mhm.
it is your ulna and your radius can rotate.
Yeah.
This is fused; it can't rotate.
My brother broke his arm and he yeah, he can't rotate all the way anymore.
Well, I can't rotate at all.
Damn.
So it's funny that they would smack me out of the good hand to write with the funny hand.
My uncle's left-handed and he went to Catholic school and he got hit by the nuns until he learned to write. So his
Yeah,
handwriting is very
they
messy, but
smacked you out of using, because left comes from the Latin word sinister. Sinister means left in Latin, and sinister has come to mean evil. So yeah,
because the
whatever.
devil's
And apparently it's the left-handed people who are smarter than us right-handed folk. Although I call myself right-handed, even though I think I'm somewhere in the middle.
like you would have been a lefty had
I
you been
would have
allowed.
been a lefty if they had left me alone. Um, Okay, so the third question, because it's not up there anymore, but I have it, I wrote it down, is I want to know for you, what's your signature dish if you're going to a Four Horsemen potluck? Now I know I can't bring anything with wine in it for you, so never mind my brown cake that I was going to bring. It had to be something else.
I'm super picky, so I'm the person who brings to the potluck the thing that I will eat because I don't like spicy. I can't have like I'm so boring. But I like cucumber sandwiches, but only this is such a plain. So when I go to an event, I get plain white bread, or if I'm fancy, I'll get like the little Pepperidge Farm. You put cream cheese on it. I like the whipped cream cheese because it's a little bit easier. You cut up cucumbers and you put it, and that's it. It is literally cucumbers with cream cheese, little like a tea sandwich. People will want to put dill on it, but I don't like dill, so I'm like, I'm not putting shrubbery on mine. I'm just you get cucumbers and cream cheese in little sandwiches, and I cut them into little triangles, and that is what I bring to events.
Oh,
That is
that sounds so
my dish.
cucumber sandwiches, but it's on I like the that it's on the little cracker. What's
Like the little Pepperidge Farm, they're very thin white, so it's just the very thin white bread, so it's super skinny. I've done it on oatmeal bread, which is also good, but I like just something about those little tiny squares because they cut in half and then it's like two bites and you're done.
and I love crackers anyway cuz I love crunchy.
Yeah.
That's a great idea. And I make a cucumber salad, which is the cucumbers. I made one on TikTok when I first started doing TikTok. I did one time and got so many views. People were watching me cut up cucumbers, and then I added salt, black pepper, sugar, vinegar, and you can either use dice up onions or green onions. And I shook it up and shook it up and agitated it and agitated it. That's all. And then you
Yeah.
eat it. Oh, so
See,
good. So can you imagine if you do that on top of your I like
see,
cream cheese that's flavored like chives and onion or
see, I can do onions, but I don't like vinegar. I know I'm terrible.
oh,
So, and
so I would
yeah,
have to do it without the vinegar for you.
which is so you're like, oh, so I just eat you're just eating a pile of cucumber at that point.
Yeah. But that's such a cool idea. I thank you because I also write books that have food in them. So this is going to end up in somebody's.
I love little tea
There's that
sandwiches.
sounds cool. Okay, so since I can't make rum cake because I want you to eat what I make, where does that leave us?
With no, but well, figure.
Um,
Okay, so you normally make rum cake. Is that your?
yeah, I like rum cake. It's the only thing I like to bake. I, I'm
Mhm.
I'm not really a baker. My older daughter loves to bake. I'm like, can we just make rum cake? It's 9 eggs. It's a pound of butter. It's 2 cups of sugar and 4 cups of flour and wine and rum and fruits that are soaked in wine and rum for a long time. So I have a big jar downstairs that is like 3/4 full of fruits. And so it's a Christmas tradition in Jamaica. And then browning because we make the cake black. That's why it's called black cake. So you can't have that because no, ma'am. So I guess I could make curry chicken. Can you have curry?
I can, but I'm a wuss, so it would
Well,
have to be
I would make your curry non-spicy. It would just be
yeah the
curry.
children's version of
Not everybody likes Jamaicans love hot and spicy food. So I would make
my
sure to have the hot one
my
and then I just make yours sans the pepper.
a plain one. Yeah, that's why. Like when I go to a potluck, I'm like I'm gonna bring food that I eat because I know I'm an outlier. I'm a really picky, specific food kind of person, so I'm like I'll just bring stuff so I know I have something to eat.
Yeah. I like cooking, although I have to tell you these days I'm so tired. Because I have to cook for not just me and my husband now, but for my son and his children and the others. I wish I
Yeah,
had a cook. Then I could be
my
like, okay, I want this today, and then I could sit like,
yeah, my husband loves cooking like that. He legit enjoys it. I'm like, I can make like the 6 or 7 items that I like growing up. I knew how to make, and when we moved in together, he was like, "How about I like cooking." I was like, "Okay, great. That's all.
you
Let's
got
eat
it.
whatever as long as I eat it." Which is the other thing. He's like, "I want to cook with spice," and I'm like, "You then cook with spice, and like I'll have a bowl of cereal. I'm good."
Yeah. So you're making. If he's making chicken, he just makes yours separately from his.
Yeah, he'll make mine and then like kick his up a notch. Or my daughter too, like a little more spice than I do.
Yeah. So yeah, I would bring curried chicken so that you can have some. I could also make rice and peas, just Jamaican. We call it rice and peas, but it's actually red beans or another bean that we call gungu beans. I don't know what it's called in America. And we cook them in coconut milk
That I can.
with with and then we put the green onions in and the thyme and pimento seeds, just the
Mhm.
balls, not the crushed pimento. We put that in and cook it down, and then when it's nice and soft, then we add the rice. So the rice gets the flavor of the beans and the coconut. Oh, mm.
All about rice
I
and
could bring
beans
that for you too.
stuff. I would eat that.
Yes, I
But
know because there's no. Um, I was gonna say there's no spice in it. I would make sure not to cook it with peppers, but in Jamaica they drop a whole Scotch bonnet pepper in there too, so it has that kicks it up a notch. The flavor, mind you, we try really hard to make sure the pepper doesn't burst in the pot because then it's
then
really hot at that point. All this food is making me hungry.
you can find a Jamaican restaurant. I love
Yeah.
it.
I like cooking, but I think when I have to do it every day, it's like after a while, I'm like, I don't know what to do next, and it's like the same old, same old. It's chicken, it's fish, it's and now that we're older and we have to watch our blood sugar levels, it's like so I can't have rice all the time, and I can't have pasta, and so it's just vegetables and meat. That's boring, but
Mhm. Yeah, give me something different.
yeah. So
Yeah,
that's it.
yeah, that was fun. I'm
Yes.
glad you came back. That was good.
Yes. Oh, you should have seen me. I was like, oh my God, I hope they haven't gone. I hope they haven't gone. And I kept watching the router to see when the internet came back. I'm hoping it doesn't do that again because if it does, I'm going to have to charge up all my other stuff before the lights go out again.
No,
Not something I need. I have too
no.
much to do. Can I put in a plug for something?
Yeah, do it.
So, a fellow writer, Twyla Turner, she passed
Mhm.
away on Monday. She was diagnosed with pancreatic cancer last year, January, and she passed away this past Monday. And before she died, I had talked with her about doing an anthology to celebrate her, but also for cancer research. And she agreed. She said, "You can have whatever you want in there." I said, "Okay, fine." And so I was expecting, I put out the call for submissions like the 22nd of June, and the 29th of June, she died. So, and
Yeah,
that was, we were all shocked. Like, we got up and her father posted on her page, "Our daughter has passed." And I was like, that was not what we were expecting. I mean, we knew, but you're still
did
not
you
expecting it to happen like that. Like,
yeah.
anyway, because she was still coming online when she was feeling well enough, and she would she was the sweetest soul. She was really a beautiful spirit. So I started doing this anthology, and I'm going to finish it. And I wondered if I could stick it in the chat so that you all would be able to copy it and maybe put it in the next newsletter or something. Is
Yeah,
that
I think
possible?
yeah. They will add it to the show notes. So yeah, just throw it in the chat and then she'll add it after when this gets posted.
Okay, let me just get the short URL. Um,
And how long is it open for?
okay, so right now it says till July 31st. Okay, where are you? I'm missing you. Karen, you know why you're missing them? Because you closed the window, dingbat. Um, oh, 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 that is not you. Where are you? I can't find you. Oh, here we are. Yes. Okay, so it's up. The application thing is up till July 1st. There's the short. Did you see it? Yeah.
Yeah, it popped up. Cool. So she
Okay.
can add the
So July 31st, July 1st. We want it's going to be 10 to 25,000 words because, we want to put it out next year on Valentine's Day, which gives writers from the end of July, really, if they sign up and get accepted. And I'm hoping that enough people will sign up until November, I think I said 15th. She would have been 47 on November 22nd. She was 46 and a half. Um, so you get it to us already edited and everything by the 15th of November, and then we have 3 months to get everything together. Make sure that if people haven't done what they need to do, they can fix it before we put it on. We put it wide, which means it won't go on Kindle Unlimited. But you get it for 90 days. We have it, and all the money goes to a charity. And then after that, you get your rights back, and you can do whatever you want with it.
That's so good. I love that. All right, so remind people your name and where they can find you.
So I'm Katie Bond, and you can find me at author KT on TikTok, and author KT I think on Instagram, and I am author KT Bond on Facebook. And I would put my link tree in there, but that would require me to find it, wouldn't it? Because if you click on my link tree, actually, you'll find not only all of that, but also that link.
Oh, all right, yeah. I
Because
think they'll add our bio info to the show notes too, so when it gets posted, it'll be there. Cool.
yeah, so it should be there. Here we go. Wow, that's bright. It's very bright. Um, so this is my link tree, and so just to I'm available there if you need to email me or whatever. Everything's there. You can
Awesome.
join my newsletter. You can be on my art team. Do whatever All of those fascinating things are on there.
Perfect. And
You
I'm
should put
author.
yours. Who are you?
Yeah, I'm JM Paquette. You can find me at authorjmpaquette.com. I'm author JM Paquette pretty much on all the socials. And same, I have a link tree, newsletter, all of that. So you can find out which boy, if not both.
Which boy, if not both?
Boy, I mean, sometimes you're like, why choose? Sometimes that happens. But this was a lot of fun. It was great chatting with you.
Yes, I really enjoyed this. This was cool. Um, I haven't done AJ yet, but I have to talk to Erica about that. So,
Cool. All right. So
all
we'll
right.
see
Thank
you
you.
later.
Bye.
3, 2, 1, go.